Marzulli preached in this conference last year, said it was awesome. So I'm telling you, I am excited about it. We're going to have a great time up in Michigan. Now, we're going to have a great time up in Michigan. Now.
But in the days of the voice of the seventh angel, when he shall begin to sound, the mystery of God shall be finished, as he has declared to his servants, the prophets. And in the second month, and the 27th day of the month, the earth was dried. It came to pass, the 601st year, in the first month, in the first day of the month, the waters were dried up from off the earth, and Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. And there was given me a rod, a reed unto like a rod. And an angel stood, saying, Rise and measure the temple of God and the altar, and them that worship therein. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread under foot 42 months. And I will give power to my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees, the 2 candlesticks standing before God, before the God of the earth. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceeds out of their mouth, and devours their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must be in this manner killed. These have power to shut heaven, that it rains not in the days of their prophecy, and have power over waters to turn into blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. And when they shall finish with their testimony, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit, he's going to make war with them, and he's going to overcome them. Of course, he's going to kill them. They're going to be dead. You know, their word is dead. But you got to remember this, though. They were already finished. So one person looks at it half empty, the glass, and the other person looks at it half full. The beast is looking at it like it's half empty. Like this testimony is half empty. The witnesses look at it as the glass is half full and it's completely finished. So the beast that ascends out of the bottomless pit, he's going to shut their mouths. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast is going to ascend. He's going to make war. He's going to overcome them. He's going to kill them. And then their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. And they of the people and the kindreds and tongues and nations, they shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their bodies to be put in graves. And they, after 3.5 days, after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life, the life of God, entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up here. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. And the same hour was there a great earthquake, and a 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake were slain of men a perfect, complete amount of people. And the remnant, there's a remnant that are affrighted the rest, and gave glory to the God of heaven. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe comes quickly. May 21st, 10 days from the second month, the 17th day of the month, to the second month, to the 27th day of the month, when the earth will be dry.
It's awesome. So I'm telling you, I am excited about it. We're going to have a great time up in Michigan. Now, quickly, let me just say this real fast. Are you serious? No broadcast tonight. I'm sorry about that. No broadcast tonight. I'm traveling. Got quite a journey to make tonight to Michigan. So no broadcast tonight, but I will be live tomorrow from Michigan. 12 noon Eastern, all right? We'll be doing it through a satellite feed into Brock Begley, who'll be right here running the controls in the Salvation Station, all right?
When they finish their testimony, the beast that already ascended out of the bottomless pit 8 years ago, he's going to overcome them and kill them and shut their mouths. And they that dwell upon the earth, they're going to rejoice over them. They're going to have one hell of a party, I'll tell you, over down there in Michigan. And they're going to make merry, and they're going to send gifts to one another, because these two prophets, they tormented them that dwelt on the earth. And after 3.5 days, the spirit of life, from God entered. You know how Satan entered into Judas? Well, God can enter into you when it's time. Or them, because they're the ones that need God to enter into them. And they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them, which saw them. So the fear, it's not like some kind of, it's the fear of God, which is a great respect for God. It's fear. The beginning of fear is wisdom. So the wise are the ones that, after they see these 3.5 days that does pass by, there's a tremendous amount of respect for God. That's why you have a healthy fear, because the fear is you don't want to disappoint him. That's the fear. It's not like you're going to get whipped or beaten or yelled at. He's just going to be like, all right, okay. He knows that you're going to learn. And this is where we're at. It's when the truth gets shut down. The 3.5 days isn't like, that's the end of the world, or the 3.5 after that, and it's complete end of the world. No, it's just a continuance of everything. You just got to find where the elite are in the Bible, and then you can track them down and show people what they're up to. And Noah removed the covering of the ark and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry.
Good news, Ron. Check it out. So, right on time. By the time you get here, right on time. By the time you get here, who knows, this water level may be down good enough to where we'll be able to just They'll just pull that cap off there and pull the pipes.
Pull the pipes. Okay. Pulling the pipes. Well, what do what do you talk with, right? What is like when you sing, it's like, man, it got some strong pipes, It's like when your pipe gets cut off, you can't speak anymore. Do you think it's a coincidence that Paul Begley is going to Michigan for 3 days? For 3 days? Where is it at? You think this is a coincidence that he's going when the waters are going to be, well, dried up? Ron is just, it's everybody, it's a group. Ron is a group. It's whatever the initials mean, RON. I mean, I don't know, you can think of whatever, but it's not Ron one person. It's a group of people that come up to Michigan and have one hell of a party, exchanging gifts to one another because these two prophets tormented them that dwelled upon YouTube land. So, coincidence? That's 3 days, right? May 31st, June 1st, June 2nd. Is it the beginning of May 31st? Like morning? And then all of the 31st, and then all of the 1st, and then all of the 2nd. Just ironic that the party is up in Michigan.
Who knows? This water level may be down good enough to where we'll be able to just pull that cap off there and pull the pipes.
Pull the pipes. Pull the pipes. This was on May 18th. Mr. Mouthpiece, Paul Begley.
May 18th, 3, 2, 1.
And he did another one. Keep in mind that when he did the 3, 2, 1, and then come May 21st, that's when everything that he has been saying that I said he would say, he is doing it full force, and everything is so horribly, terribly the worst ever in the history of existence. And so he counted down 3, 2, 1 on this day, and he just did another one that counts down till the party on the 31st. So 2 dead, stabbed. The Japan incident, May 28th. I know it says 3:20 on here, but where are we at here? But it's 3:21. So again, it's on the 28th. So he's working on a 10-day pattern himself. And so this is the next countdown. This 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I'm again, I can be 10 days ahead and feel like it's going to happen beforehand. That way it prepares me for when it does. So you have 7 full years since we were born, and guaranteed, okay, I'll start out with a broad aspect of it first. Antichrist rising up. Like, you're not going to be able to get away from this one, okay? Nobody's going to be able to get away from what's going to happen on the 21st into the 22nd. Here's what's going to happen with the 21 days, 3, 2, 1. Boom. So what's the boom going to be? What's the boom going to be? I'm seeing a couple events at the same time. I'm seeing kind of like lightning type of fast pace
burning fire type of thing. And then once my channel was has been taken away, and well, then we'll start seeing day by day for the next 21 days. The absolute world dominating beyond recognition. You cannot possibly think that it's something else other than God's wrath on the 21st to the 22nd of May. It is God's wrath.
Or know a lot about the weather modification it's used for warfare. Look, and what about the locusts? We got God doing his part. We got asteroids, sinkholes, raging floodwaters, typhoons, record typhoons in the Philippines, record monsoons, India, record, biblical signs of blood moons. We're witnessing straight line winds, exotic and extreme weather conditions, the worst drought in the history of Australia, the worst flooding in Tulsa, Oklahoma in over 1,000 years.
Worst in over 1,000 years.
Diverse places.
Earthquakes.
6.6 quake just hit.
8.8 is coming up.
Today. We have tension in political arenas. The swamp in Washington. Yeah, the Supreme Court. We got Louisiana. Lawmakers. Look, they've already passed this heartbeat bill. It's laying on the governor's desk for days.
All right. Now, keep this in mind, too. This has never happened before in the history of existence of creation. And I have a hunch it's getting ready to happen in 2-3 days. 3, 2, 1. So what's going to happen? All right, let me get to it. All the events are going to happen. Now, I'll try to put them in order, but let me just say what I believe will happen. And it could just be sporadic. I'll try to put it in line what I think, but either way, it's just a broad look at all the events. So the one event obviously is the flood.
Record, biblical signs of blood moons. We're witnessing straight line winds, exotic and extreme weather conditions, the worst drought in the history of Australia, the worst flooding in Tulsa, Oklahoma in over 1,000 years.
Within the next 21 days, starting May 21st, you will see a meteorite. You will see some type of alien somewhere. Don't forget about them. They still got to abduct us.
Yes, we are witnessing all kinds of manipulation taking place. Man's doing his part, but believe me, God's prophetic word is being fulfilled. God's doing his part. And of course, Satan's going to do his part as he's going to unleash hell on earth. And we got God doing his part. We got asteroids, sinkholes, raging floodwaters. We got asteroids.
You will see a meteorite. Well, they still got a party for 3.5 days. There's still a time where they need to really feel like, okay, this is it.
Really preached in this conference last year, said it was awesome. So I'm telling you, I am excited about it. It's going to be, we're going to have a great time up in Michigan.
7th,
now,
being the end of the 21 days, either way, all these events are going to happen within that period. I truly believe that the next major news dominating event is blamed on God. And
God doing his part. We got asteroids, sinkholes, raging floodwaters, typhoons, record typhoons in the Philippines, record monsoons, India, record, biblical signs of blood moons. We're witnessing straight line winds, exotic and extreme weather conditions, the worst drought in the history of Australia, the worst flooding in Tulsa, Oklahoma in over 1,000 years.
But at some point, an asteroid's going to hit an earthquake, which caused a big tsunami. That you're going to see. Okay, you're going to see asteroids, aliens, tsunamis, floods. But the tsunami is happening at the last 3.5 days because the earth is going to open her mouth and swallow up the flood. Because we are the earth. We are going to open up our mouths and we're going to tell everybody and let them know it ain't real. So you have that happening. Bombs being dropped everywhere. I mean, it's just, absolute World War III. You're going to hear about the declaration of World War III. You're going to hear about the declaration of martial law, all within the next 21 days. And the truth is going to be shut down. It's absolutely going to be tornadoes, hurricanes. It's all going to be blamed on God.
My God in whom I trust. Begley's prophecy was brought into the spotlight as a trail of devastation, storms, floods, and tornadoes have reached record-breaking levels. For 14 consecutive days, twisters have hit the United States with...
That's amazing, ain't it? 14 consecutive days. So the tornadoes, they've continued for 2 weeks straight. Now the tornadoes happened, what, 3 days before May 21st? I think it was something like that, because it's the 3-2-1 countdown. So he has some kind of article in a Sputnik newspaper or something, and he's talking about his prophecy when he was standing in the back of his yard when they told him to go stand out in the back of your yard and we're going to make hail come down. And so he's talking about how he was prophesying beforehand and then things happened.
More than 500 tornadoes. They have been reported over the last 30 days.
That's crazy,
and a total number of reports this year of 960 tornadoes across America.
960.
Sputnik went on to say
it's
that
all
the
normal,
US
right?
National Weather Service, meanwhile, has warned of another volatile, severe weather day today with possible tornadoes, heavy rain, flash flooding, and damaging winds.
Wow.
Tornado warnings were issued for states like Texas to New Jersey with 34 million people
I would have never,
under an enhanced risk. And
I would have never have guessed that this would have continued on for this long.
American evangelist Pastor Paul Begley is known for his apocalyptic forecast. Just this May, he said the events of the Middle East forebode the end times and are linked to NASA's stunning revelation that the moon is effectively shrinking like a raisin, he says, with the biblical prophecies of the apocalypse. Now, let's get cut across Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, all the way to Pennsylvania. That's exactly the word I got from the Lord. And I posted that 2-minute video at 2:00 p.m. on Saturday afternoon. By 6 p.m., tornadoes were tearing things up in Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, and Pennsylvania, and then the floodwaters just unleashed from the rain. There's still tornadoes in Texas, still in Kansas, still in Iowa. They haven't stopped. We're on day 14, consecutive days of tornadic outbreak. Millions of people without power, record flood levels in the Mississippi, record flood levels in the Arkansas River, record flood levels in the Missouri River, and look out Little Rock. The Lord just keeps telling me, warn people, look out Little Rock.
The next major news dominating event is blamed on God, and it's going to be exponential. I mean, it's going to be so off the hook that you cannot possibly get away from it. And it's going to be so frightening and scary, and it's purposed that way for the next 21 days. The flood is determined. The end is determined by a flood. At the very end, those 3.5 days, the flood that comes out of the mouth of the serpent and the flood that comes out of the TV screen is at the last 3.5 days of the 21-day period. Because at that time, see, when does the flood happen? Man, it's a toss-up. It really is. I mean, it's. I can only go with this, but I just have this strange feeling that it's prolonged for another 21 days exactly.
it appeared to have stalled out until Bannon stepped in, and then they went to this area where there is apparently a big gap in our border between two 21-mile stretches of wall or border barrier that they have up right now.
Wall.
There was a gap.
We all know what wall means.
And they asked all the locals, what is, and the police, what is the worst place around here? And it was this gap where they say cartels and others were constantly taking advantage of getting through and smuggling their drugs through. There is apparently a big gap in our border between two 21-mile stretches. Interesting timing.
Bless you, Robin's Hood. People are repenting. Elijah Henry wants to be saved. Ephra 27 wants to be saved. Robin's Hood wants to be saved. You can't deny. Robin's Hood got saved yesterday, rededicating of heaven's time.
It's the 28th. Bless you, Robin's Hood. 29th. Robin's Hood wants to be saved. The 30th. Robin's Hood was already saved yesterday. He's rededicating. That's 3 days in a row. There you go. This is the day. Well, it's just tomorrow, it's just another day. But man, I'll tell you, if this day comes and passes, and then June 1st comes around, and we're not here, just know that everything is going to come to pass really fast. And then also know that it's right around the time when the seventh angel begins to sound, the mystery God should be finished.
Interesting timing.
And Pennsylvania, and then the floodwaters just unleashed from the rain. There's still tornadoes in Texas, still in Kansas, still in Iowa. They haven't stopped. We're on day 14, consecutive days of tornadic outbreak. Millions of people without power, record flood levels in the Mississippi, record flood levels in the Arkansas River, record flood levels in the Missouri River. And look out, Little Rock. The Lord just keeps telling me, warn people, look out, Little Rock, as the water's coming.
And many false prophets shall rise.
A lot of Jefferson City, Missouri.
And many false Christs.
Small towns. So let me read on the article that Sputnik said. So I did. I prophesied it would happen. And then 4 hours later, I was in my backyard filming the storm. We're going to show it to you in a little bit.
At the same time, I'm seeing kind of like lightning type of fast pace, burning fire type of like lightning.
What we experienced was what was called a microburst. A tornado was in Lafayette as it went roaring over our heads. And many tornadoes hit that day in Indiana. 75 homes were damaged. But for me, it was a confirmation, certainly, that the word the Lord gave me on Saturday at 2 o'clock was that this wasn't just going to be a bad day today, but it was going to be multiple days. And we haven't seen the end of this. We're in day 14 now. And besides the tornadoes, the lightning strikes, and the apocalyptic weather, we have catastrophic flooding going on right now along the Mississippi and Fort Smith, Arkansas, and it's on its way, guys. I mean, Jefferson City, Missouri, all these little towns on the whole thing, all the way down the Mississippi River, the Arkansas River, the Missouri River, the tornadoes. And look at this, last night, nasty storms ripping across New Jersey now, getting in the act. And besides the tornadoes, the lightning strikes, and the apocalyptic weather.
What day exactly? So this is my first video, April 2nd, 2017. I was expecting to be shut down just about a year later. So the very next day, April 7th, was the beginning of Wars and Rumors of Wars.
Hey.
And I thought we would be getting
Goodbye,
shut off
YouTube.
the very next day.
I mean, I'll see you later, actually.
From east to west on 3, 2, 1. Linwood. And then there was a false flag in Michigan. What, the same day? Very next day, something like that?
3, 2, 1.
Tonight, we're going to meet 3 of them, including one in the far...
We're going to meet 3 of them, including Juan. She didn't say one, she said Juan. You know how Juan is there? Juan, John, John's there, James is there.
Ron's
John,
coming.
James, and
The whole group.
And
Son of Man is the Messiah. He's the authority of God on earth. He's not God per se, but the authority of God on earth. The authority who is David in the flesh, reborn.
From the greatest economic collapse in history. Who cares about being right? I certainly don't. Who cares about understanding that this is coming, that China's escalating the trade war, that the market potentially could be down 10,000 points overnight, that the banks might close, that the U.S. dollar is losing its reserve status, that we're moving into a global war?
I bet he's...
Who cares if you're not taking advantage of the opportunity to enhance...
I bet he's glad that...
and
I bet he's glad that I've gotten on Paul Begley instead of him.
increase the prospects of the people that you love, to increase and create a better future. Who cares if you're right, Robin? Who cares if you know the frickin' script of what's going on with this world war? Who cares? Get exactly what you wish for. You're going to get exactly what you wish for. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So, look, if you're listening to other people and that's all they're talking about, but they're not giving you tools to succeed, they're not giving you tools like BitcoinRich.com, I would stop listening to those people. Look, if you're listening to other people, and that's all they're talking about, but they're not giving you tools to succeed, they're not giving you tools like BitcoinRich.com, I would stop listening to them.
Jesus said he was sitting on the Mount of Olives when the disciples came to him in Matthew 24, said, Lord, can you tell us the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? And Jesus said, well, yeah, there'll be false Christ and false prophets shall rise, and they shall deceive many. And you'll hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled.
Themselves, the sun is shining.
For now.
I figured I'd sing you a song on Memorial Day. You know why? Because, see, I'm king, whether you want to believe it or not. The sun is shining. The sun is shining.
Remember, no matter what happens, the sun will rise in the morning, and America will still be the greatest nation on earth.
From one Antichrist playing out the role in the world to the other.
It feels good to be me.